Board of Selectmen meeting to order for Thursday, August 22nd. Already the 22nd, huh? It's 7 P.M., full Board of Selectmen here tonight. We have Lean Como, the town administrator here, and Fred Mullen is taping it for the benefit of the public, and Linda Nickerson will upload it to YouTube and the Dunbarton website. I've got some old business here, guys, in front of me. Meeting minutes from August 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 8th, 2024 as amended.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded, everybody in favor?
Aye.
All
Can
say
I just
aye.
state for the record that Jennifer Cormier and I have discussed, her legal, documentation and asked if the word draft needed to be left on the minutes after the selectmen have approved them, and I told her it didn't, usually the following meeting's vote is what indicates, but she thought it would be helpful for her in her record keeping if it didn't say draft, so I agree with her going forward. As you approved and, for the evening of the minutes, then you won't see the word draft on any minutes going forward.
Thank you for the update, Lean. I've got another set of non-public meeting minutes from August 8th, 2024. I'll make a motion to accept the, meeting minutes,
I'll second.
and those were not, modified,
And not to be sealed.
not to be sealed, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll sign them twice, I just signed them. Okay.
Just
Fred, I'm gonna open it up for public comment, do you have anything for the board?
No.
Okay, I'll bring you at the end of the meeting in case you have something new, okay? Alright, first thing on our agenda, we're gonna go right to town business here. On that non-public, we have some legal direction from our town council, for deeding of a property. Property is J30102 of Julian and Sandra Leduc Estate. We're gonna sign a letter, with the direction of our town council. Let me read this motion to you guys. I'll bring this motion before the Board of Selectmen under statute 80:76 to deny the impending deeding of real estate property known as J30102 owned by Julian Ledoux and Sandra Ledoux Estate with the address of 71 Jewett Road in Dunbarton, New Hampshire, and signed by the tax collector on August 22nd, 2024, because acceptance would be subject to the municipality to potential liability. The tax lien shall remain in effect for 6 months from the date of this motion, or upon notice from the estate administrator of Sandra Leduc retaining its property over other liens. So that's the motion.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
did discussion point, did you amend that? That's the letter you were looking at amending?
The letter is amended, not the motion.
Okay. Dave, I just wanna make a comment that, I wasn't sure about embracing legal counsel, and I'm glad we did. I think you're the one who pushed that, and I think I salute you for doing that. I thought the legal counsel gave us some good advice.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put, I made the motion and Justin seconded it, right?
And that's all I have, but I just wanted to say, I'm glad the board pursued legal counsel here.
Yeah, I am too, I think in these matters, it brought a lot of things to light, what we were able and not able to do.
Well, it kind of protects the town too. You
Uh,
call it a vote.
Yep, calling for a vote on that motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we all sign that, or?
Yeah, you will. There you go, Mike. Thanks for putting that together for us, Lean.
Been a busy week.
Just-
Really appreciate it.
Keep the pile going, Justin. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is to review and sign the financial statement. This is the MS 535 required to set tax rate. I did come in and look at this week. And I did sign already, we're looking for one more signature on the 535 from Mike. And just to show you the unassigned balance, right now is 993,965. And 481,000 of that was used for the articles on the warrants, giving us a balance of 512,965, which is, unencumbered, which is just under the 5% minimum that the, DRA would like us to have. Signing on the last pages, Mike, I'm sure we all did them.
I think we'll be able to adjust appropriately when we get the tax revenues coming for the, in September.
Yeah, and I'm not too worried of hitting the 5%. You know, 512,000 is a lot of money to have sitting around unassigned, and I think it would cover most of the things we've come into, so.
Right,
Even though our budget is slightly up and that amount is there, I'm happy to have the 500. You remember when we came in, there was 26,000.
and we do have insurance things.
Right. So. I know that's their recommendation, and we've been trying to stay around that.
Within a percent, 0.5% of that really.
Yeah, and we did make that conscious effort, last year when we did our budget to stay close and not really change it all that much.
I think we added a little bit.
Yeah, the 20 or something.
The next thing on the agenda is to review the FEMA flood map date, notice to abutters. We do have one abutter that is within that flood map to be noticed from the town.
Can you put in my basket?
Yeah, so we do have to notice one person, on Old Toppington Road. Attaches a template for it.
For notification.
Yeah, it looks like it. Lee, do you remember, is the, building department gonna notice them, or do we need to?
Dawn and I have been talking about this at length during the course of this week.
Yeah.
I did ask her the question about a second property on Old Hopkinton Road, and, she agreed. So it's not our obligation to send out letters to everyone, not knowing what, whether they're in that zone. But I think if I'm able to put this information on our town website to notice the public in general, that the flood control maps will be updated, and that it's important for them to look at their property and the new maps to determine if they're in that area, so.
And things are right, the reason why is for insurance purposes, really.
Correct. Now, I just went through this page here, saved it as a TIF. It was able to identify the only change on the new maps is this area here, and this is where Old Hopkinton Road is. So, those are the only new changes, so I think it would be helpful if we put the questions, and answers,
I thought this letter states right on it from the building, the town is supposed to notify any residents of property located when the maps are adjusted.
well, not by mail. Two of them we know, in fact, that could be impacted by the new change. If there's something else, like a shed or something that somebody owns, that they have a structure on that we're not aware of, it's up to the homeowners to review the maps and determine whether they fall into that flood zone area.
Yeah,
But-
I'd like to make sure that the two people are, it could change their insurance.
Well, there's, the letters are in there, ready to go.
Oh, they
on the
are?
envelope. So,
Okay.
but if I missed one, because we're
Yeah, I
looked
think
at it,
still put it on the website and everything you're talking about.
right,
So that we're not liable if we miss somebody, but if we
right,
knowingly know there are at least two that we should.
and
As a courtesy.
I'll make sure I, you know, list it that it's important information you need
Yeah,
to know.
maybe, and put a letter in, as a courtesy, the town is notifying you this.
Yeah,
And then give them Donna's number if they wanna call and.
yeah, it's all in the letter,
I think
it's
as a
all in the.
courtesy, it's one way to, I mean, treat, you know, it's treating it fairly, people
Yeah.
fairly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your house gets flooded out, then you realize your insurance isn't covering you.
Right.
Not a fun situation.
The next thing on the agenda is, per RSA 31:95-B, Roman numeral 3, paragraph B. We have unanticipated funds in the amount of $1,030 for use to augment, 2024 Old Home Day budget. checks and cash have been received and deposited, so I'll make that motion. Can I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded, so,
Can I make a comment on the home day, just two
Sure.
quick comments? I thought overall it was great. I thought the parade route we were concerned with was okay. There were pros and cons. We needed an after-action report from both the police department and the committee later on. I thought Tom Casano had a medical issue 3 weeks ago. I'll leave it at that, and he still showed up and did a yeoman's job helping with the whole day. And, I think for next year, we may wanna consider, facilitate communications, put a selectman on that committee. At least attend one of the meetings with them in the springtime.
okay, that sounds good.
Okay, and,
I think that'd take care of our bathroom situations and a lot of things.
yeah, and, but I think, they need to come to us and give us a follow-up, after action.
Yeah.
But those are just some of my quick
When
observations.
they do that follow-up like they normally do, we'll recommend that.
Okay. And believe me,
Just
that's,
keep all that.
that's not coming from me, that came from the town administrator.
Okay,
That was a vote, that was a motion on the table,
no,
we already voted, that was discussion.
so,
Yeah, I heard some people are pretty confused about the parade route, cause it was posted and the way it was executed. I wasn't here for the time, but.
Overall, I didn't get many negatives, like a few negatives here and there, and, but the thing is, overall, it worked okay. There was the congestion was not nearly as bad as could have been, what we think worst case scenario, it wasn't worst case scenario. Minimal congestion, if any, over here. A little coordination between the band and the color guard could have been better, but overall, it worked.
yeah, I think the fire chief had some issues with it, so next year, we'll definitely address it and try and look at it ahead of time.
And parade, to get a permit, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
For the route. And the thing is, there are definitely some pros for keeping it where we had it in the past, and we just gotta look at that.
Yeah, and I think that if we work with the police department early enough before it happens, like Lee and I talked earlier this week, the town administrator, if you put a period detour to go down Mansion Road, on the foot of the hill detour for a half hour, 40 minutes, the detour's allowing through traffic, and I think that.
Go up Mansion Road,
Yeah.
it keeps the traffic going through, it doesn't
It
stop
will
traffic.
eliminate
100%.
everything as far as stopping of the traffic.
And as long as you mention that and going to the state, they should be smiling.
I would think so.
Okay, but this, for the future, for next year.
I do wanna bring up, since we're on Old Home Day, I did hear several people helped out picking up after our town administrator, her husband Larry. I think you helped, Mike, and I wanted to thank those people, because the people that do it day in and day out on that, they get worn out.
Yeah.
And they said, at the time when they were worn out, you guys stepped in, and I had a letter in the town, I don't see it on our agenda, but I did.
It's in
it is-
the agenda, thank you
down on
from Tom
13.
Casano.
So anyway, while we're on that subject, I'd like to, Tom Casano actually reached out and thanked, and I'd like to thank you guys personally, cause Jess and I obviously weren't here this year, and, stepping in when people need that kind of help is huge. 'Cause the same people do this stuff year after year.
But Tom did make it easier for us. The freezer you unplugged about an hour before the ice cream was
Oh.
served, so it was not rock hard.
Okay.
Although I think we went through 2 scoops, at least broke 2 scoops that day.
Yeah,
Okay, we have the town attorney's, response to a driveway access off a class 6 road. I read this earlier, this week, it's in reference to lot B60105. Again, reaching out to the town attorney made good sense in this, and did give us some good guidance. He said that if it's available to go off the class 5 section of road, that's the way we should go towards, and not, allowing class 6 access if we can avoid it. Just to make it brief, there's a much larger letter in here, and it's available to the public.
And I think it is turf to the road agent for action.
Yeah,
copy's been copied.
Okay.
so I think that, having it go there and getting some good, feedback from our town attorney, since he worked with us to do all the regulations on the class 6 and private roads, I think it was a good benefit of that as well.
And just, can I make a corollary on that?
Sure.
The town administrator brought it to my attention that, on Guinea Road, which is, we know is on the south end.
Yeah.
It's a class 6 road, and we alerted a resident that he's gonna be responsible for his own plowing. there's a sign, that we should direct, I think the road agent needs to be directed to move, it's further up after his lot, that says, basically alerts that this is no longer the maintained road. That should probably be at the beginning, would you all agree?
I would think that, it might not hurt to leave that one and put an additional one, a new one up front,
Okay.
just so people are aware of it.
Okay,
Can you take that for action, Lean?
Yeah.
Do we all in agreement then, consensus?
I think you're right, Mike, now that we're changing that, and
Yeah, and the thing is, what the town administrator, the gentleman was very, appreciative of the years which he had.
Yeah.
He said it was a good run, to quote unquote, that the town, they were helping him out, but he realized that he is responsible, because it's on his deed.
oh, it is, okay.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
So he was, he understand going forward, what he's responsible for. So thank you, Lee, for getting that done.
The next thing on the agenda, the CIP program was adopted by the planning board with Justin.
Yep.
For 2025 to 2030 program. I'd like to take our hat off to Donna and the, planning and building department, because, she did put this all together, met with everybody, kept this meeting going and updated this plan.
And I think we have a copy in our email box too. It's been emailed to everybody.
And so I kind of followed the meetings as she was going through them. And, I think that she did a great job putting that together.
You know, I was pleasantly surprised to see input from the school department too.
Yeah.
And so, that because they gotta be part of it too.
Right. Do you wanna send our thanks out to her for it? The next thing on the agenda is, we had a special meeting with the town clerk. A request to hire an assistant town clerk effective 8/22 at a pay rate of $23.37 per hour plus mileage. And this is an out-of-town person coming to help our town clerk, because we have some medical issues going on, and, leave it at that. And so, we need to sign the, pay rate for that person. And this is just to fill in hours that both our, town clerk and the assistant town clerk that we have now can't meet.
I give kudos to town clerk for.
Deputy, I'm sorry, the deputy
I
town clerk.
Give her kudos for taking measures to make sure we have service open.
Yeah.
rather than just close
reaching out. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the, 2025 aquatic plant control grant application. We need to sign this application. This again is for, it's, for the milfoil in the ponds as well as any other species that, we have come up throughout the town.
I believe some of the philosophy in the past has been if we don't participate in it and we have a problem here, and we're not in the queue, we
is
can't
it there,
participate.
Dave, you have her sheet?
I don't see the signature page.
It's important we stay in the queue.
Yes,
Flag,
once you guess, no, it's flagged, but
there's no signature spot?
print, typed, and titled, do you know, Chairman Board of Selectmen?
Yeah, there should be someplace right there. Sign
Scribble
there.
up there somewhere? No other line,
This is there.
maybe right here above that, right there.
Not below
Yeah,
all our names.
yeah, see the paper clips covering it, there's a semicolon,
Oh,
sign right
okay.
there, that's their form.
Dave signs it this year, not me.
Okay, he's on the hook,
I'm on the hook for it all.
for him not to stink.
Mike, you wanna put your initials on that one?
Hey, I'm going back.
Okay, we have a request from Corin Thaner. Corinne Thaner,
Corin.
Corin, it is
Yeah.
Corin,
Mhm.
and that's for 1003 School Street to use the bandstand for a civil ceremony 30 minutes on October 19th, 2024.
What type of civil ceremony?
It's a marriage
Okay.
by, a JP or somebody.
Okay,
Directly accessed from the bandstand, I request I use the Dunbarton bandstand for my niece, Abigail Guru. Wedding ceremony, which is scheduled for October 19th at 4 p.m. Ceremony should not take longer than 30 minutes, will be a small gathering of less than 50 friends, family who will immediately return to the Tanner family home for reception. We're planning to have a small tent in our backyard. Porta potty accumulates the guests. Any decorations and flowers used in advance will be promptly removed. We do not plan on using any chairs at the ceremony, as we are aware nothing has been scheduled there for that date.
That's correct. And I did confirm with, Mary, she closes at 1 on Saturday, so right now and we have had, services there in the past.
What time is she gonna wanna use it?
4 p.m.
Oh, that's wonderful, that's not an issue.
I don't have any problem with it, do you guys have an issue with it?
A lot of people are doing the
That's good.
bandstand ceremonies.
I mean, there's no chairs, there's no setup, they're coming, they're gonna get married, head out. I know that we haven't used any other type of buildings for anything, and they're not asking to use the buildings or the toilets or anything, so.
Nope, and that's, we don't really have a policy on that, and so I think as,
I was gonna say, no,
Even if we did, I mean, we could decide as select board to do it, but I don't have any issue with mine, go ahead and give me a okay.
but remember, we said like the upstairs, we said that would not be used for things like that.
Right,
Can I, point out that I would probably recommend letting her know to, keep the one side parking and then respect people's driveways, and the fact that there's no events in the town offices or the library, they're welcome to use the parking, to
Perfect,
keep the road clear for emergencies.
School Street,
yeah,
yeah.
let them know one side parking,
one side
let them know additional parking should be at the.
Yep.
At the, school,
At the school or here?
Or in,
additional parking, like if they overflow here,
Yeah, I don't think they will, but
I don't think so.
they just had another funeral just last week, another death in the family,
oh,
so they've, been,
Okay.
they're looking forward to a happy service.
Okay, we have been notified by Mary Gerard that the first floor toilets overflowed on 8/14/2024. We did contact the plumber, or contact him immediately, both Lean and I, and Heidi from Schcoin's office placed calls to him. I was assured that they would be there at 7:30 the next morning,
And they were,
and they were, and, they did clean out the, pipes. But they did say that there was some issue with the amount of pitch. And they're the ones that put that in, that's why I wanted to call them. And, Mike, again, you can sign that one. But, we just put in a request for them to have us, give us suggestions on a fix for it, so this isn't a long-term situation. It seems to be right where the old and new is hooked up. Okay, the next thing on the agenda I have is 3 lighting quotes for the transfer station. These are for upgrading the lights. Here's an estimate for you to look at. And then there's one here from Irish.
do you recall the last time we upgraded the lighting, Mike? You've been here for a while.
if you wanted to read it,
No, just look at them.
okay, I'd already read it.
I don't think I don't think another watch, I don't think we did any lighting upgrades. I know he had,
I was gonna say they're all fluorescent,
yeah,
so.
and fluorescents, we will save money on just electricity.
Okay, maybe it's the outside lighting that we did upgrade on.
Well, they're doing
Well, they're
2
doing
outside
couple.
lights here too. Well, let me read what this one has, see if you guys have the same. I have demo and replace 25 existing 8-foot fixtures.
Yeah.
Demo 3 existing floodlights,
Okay,
and then it says install 27 8-foot LED strips, and install 3 LED floodlights. Price does not include disposal, as we're at the transfer station, obviously they're gonna take care of that. Price includes rebates through my utility provider. Huh?
I have something very similar,
What do you want?
I have, 25 8-foot sections replaced, 4 outside lights, and a lift rental fee.
Okay. Justin?
Mine doesn't have a number, mine just says replace the double metal halide HID fixtures with LED 400 watt equivalent floodlight fixtures. And then, also another line right there, replace the single LED fixture on pole 1 with a much brighter LED fixture.
So they're only doing 1 pole on yours? There's a second
Yeah.
page on yours, Justin, what's on
Yeah,
that?
but it doesn't,
Nothing on it?
it's a, that's just a rollover from the storage trailer, cause he has everything broken down from recycling center, the trash building, pole lights, storage trailer.
So it looks like this one's at least on 3 floodlights, how are you?
4 floodlights.
This quote is for $52.70 from Eagle Electric,
Put that one away, that's 81.
this one's 81, how much is yours?
$59.90.
I'd say this guy looks like he's from Dunbarton, we'll try him.
The middle one, the one you said,
Yeah, it was a $52.70 and it says, it seems complete.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it looks pretty comparable to the three when I
Yeah.
looked at them all.
and, and so the other one was 59, was it outside of Dunbarton, the last one you had?
Oh, that one's from Irish, the company
Irish,
that we use
69.
pretty,
69.
59,
59, so. It's,
$700
so,
bucks now.
I don't mind trying someone new, just to keep things spread around.
so I'll make a motion that we, take the bid for Eagle Electric on 20 Stark Highway, Dunbarton North, on his estimate, number 1006, dated 8/14/24, in the amount of $52.70.
Yeah, that's a little bit, that's good.
I'll second that.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Wait, Lean, you can reach out to him and let him know.
I will, I'll scan it to Woody and let him know.
I mean, the only other thing that we could have done is, we did ask him to reach out to the Energy Committee, but, this guy did say he's got a, credit coming from his,
Yeah, this
Rebate.
includes a rebate through the utility provider.
yeah, so.
And the thing is, how
Yeah,
the
so-
lights are
Lean, you'll
bright,
have to
they
sign
eat
up.
up the juice.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe it will help with our panels. I had the town
Is it-
administrator,
Is this something that we need to have them pull a permit for, nothing, or no, because it's
Just
just,
replacement.
just replacing lights?
as you remember, we generally don't pull them till after.
Well,
I mean, I'd give him a courtesy.
Yeah, we can. Wouldn't
just,
hurt.
just cause it's a newer electrician that we've used, just to,
I was thinking
maybe have
about
them
that
check-
this week,
check
did we
the
even do it, anything on the
I like-
garage
I-
doors, I don't think we did, but,
That was just frame though.
right,
That was-
they did pull a permit for the fire department,
they did?
yes, they
Oh,
did.
good.
Oh, they did? Oh, Larry, you send them over there?
I talked with John, and John, I believe he said they did pull a permit, someone said they,
Oh, good.
I just, we had a conversation this past week about the fire station,
Yeah,
pulling
yeah.
permits.
Okay, I asked Lean to reach out, on the town hall here, which is the old town hall and library. Cause there needs to be some touch-ups to keep our paint job up to snuff, I see some peeling areas, mostly on the corner blocks and on the window casing, and a little bit on the, freeze board.
Yeah, low pressure pulling bar.
And, the phrase board has some partial rot. The estimate he gave us, if you read it, he doesn't sound like he really wants to do the work for us anymore. I thought it was much higher than it should be. I only asked him in because he was the original painter of the building. But my thought on that building, cause it is just touch-ups here and there throughout the building, and, maybe a lift to do the corner blocks. The reason that we started on it, cause the rails that were done on the porticos out front need a paint job on them. Cause they're unfinished PVC and they're glued together. So I'd like to paint those two over, you know, for the first time, paint the back one over for a second time to keep that one up to par. And then just do the general touch-ups around the building.
And the carpentry work, before that, the carpentry work to be done for prep work.
Yeah, and so what I'd like to use is our town, maintenance guy that we've been calling in, what's his name?
Greg Miller?
Greg Miller, if
That's
he's,
definitely something he, you know, in his line of work.
yeah. And the freeze board needs to be replaced on this side of the building, cause it's rotted through. And he could obviously do that, and the rest of it just needs to be primed and then scraped, primed and
Yeah.
touched up. So
If
I'd
he
like
needs
to
a
see-
lift, I think we could authorize a lift for the day he wants a lift, or the
Yeah.
2 days he needs a lift.
And I'd like to just have Lean call him and do it on a cost plus, only cause there's not that many hours there, but depending on how much he scrapes and whatnot.
Yeah, he could find more or less, and,
Yeah.
they just pay him by the hour like he normally gets. I think we're gonna give him a good week of work.
Are you in consensus with that, Justin?
Yeah, I think this quote's extremely high.
Yeah, and I know that last time when we had
That
do
doesn't,
the touch-ups on this building, he come in for like 5,000 more, and
Yeah,
I
we
just
do
think it's
paint,
time
yeah.
to go on to somebody and,
that does not include, that quote does not include any prep work.
So I mean, that's no carpentry included, so
I mean,
I think that's
I don't wanna let the price go out, because we have other people working on it, but I think our handyman, he's gonna be paid well, he'll get some good hours in.
Well, I think there'll be less than this, and he'll do the woodwork too.
Yeah, I think it'll come out both of them.
Okay, so the consensus is to call him up and get him
Jennifer
working.
in action, yeah.
We already went over the thank you for the old home day help. We did reach out and thank the people that came in afterwards, but I wanna say a thank you to everybody that worked on Old Home Day and made it a success, and, all the volunteers, many volunteers and kids that worked on it.
That thank you came directly from Tom Casano, that's right next in your
Okay.
line, only because I was noticing the fatigue and the stress of everyone that was involved with the Old Home Day. I was there from 8:30 to 5:30, and the extra hands that we had to help them out, they really, really appreciated it. It
Yeah.
went so smooth, and then we got a bucket of rain on Sunday, so I was
Right.
glad we didn't wait.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys for doing that, that was, Justin and I went around, and that was very helpful to have done.
Just for the record, they had double the number of vendors from the previous year too,
Wow.
and they helped pay for again, it's nice having a hamburger, chips and drink for like less than $5.
Oh, yeah.
We were all sent out, by email, the online optional training for Board of Selectmen, 2024 Academy for Good Governance. There's lots of good programs on here. If you wanna continue to be a selectman over several more years, it wouldn't hurt to hit these courses.
Yeah, these courses are available through our membership, so there's really no cost to the town.
NHMA?
NHMA, yeah.
And this is the one that there's a certificate if you hit them all, right?
Could you just email that?
I'll forward it again, yeah.
Can I take just a corollary on that? There was some in-person training which I attended regarding the election. I did it on Saturday of last week, the week before last, and it took about maybe 2 hours. It was interesting. I didn't learn a lot, which I didn't know, but there was a good review of the painstaking measures that for the primary that the moderator's gotta go through. The moderator has it up to here, when it comes to new voters coming in trying to register for the first time, and they come in with no IDs, or not enough IDs, it's just a pain in the rear end. So I think my heart felt for the moderator, but it's good that I got exposed to what the moderators go through. Some of the courses, what I would do, if they have them online now, I would do it à la carte. If you wanted to, it takes maybe 20 minutes, you could go pick up à la carte the ones that might be of interest to you that, as you go through it, but it's online now, they did videos of it.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, that's just to sign that.
Yeah.
Justin, do you wanna go ahead and read this appointment for these people for the
Oh,
town?
you want me to guess at all these names?
No, I could. He did well.
Okay, this is
I'll
for,
butcher them all.
these are for the appointment for ballot clerks, terms expiring August 2026. Let me give these to
I'll start.
I can nominate Annette Buford Frost, Robert Leonard Senior, Pamela Miliotto, Nancy Mullen, Adriana Pascandola, Jonathan Rucker, Patricia Sheeran, Stanley Zopa, Philip Walker, Margaret Watkins, Shelley Westenberg, and Allison Valeris.
Good job.
I'll second Mike's motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good job, Mike.
Did I miss any of them?
You did,
You did pretty good.
first one.
You did pretty good. Means you did most.
A lot of signing in this job.
There's
Told you,
I was talking about the moderator's face for the primary. There's a bill that the governor has signed, if the governor signs it, they won't accept, what they call provisional ballots. And so it'll make, if he signs it for the main election, it'll make it a lot easier for the moderator, cause he won't have to screw around with those ballots.
Okay, well, they're signing the rest of those appointment paperworks. The ballot clerks. I'm gonna move on, we have nothing in the mailbox items. Lean, do you have anything else for us?
We finalized our annual audit for 2023, that's the reason why we had our financial statement. Went over it in detail with the auditor, we have no new comments, there's always room for improvement. They do have recommendations that that are repeat recommendations, but not mandatory, and, you should be seeing those probably in your next mailbox packets to, take home review, and then we can schedule an exit interview with them.
Okay. Alright, that sounds good. When will we have our tax rate set?
I have the utility rates that just came in from San Souci this week, they've been forwarded to the assessor. He's not updated in the system yet, but I have noticed, our DRA representative that that this will be forthcoming, and that I will not need to ask for an extension for filing the MS1 report, so there's still quite a few steps that I have to
Just
stay on
remember,
top of.
if you don't get, you have to get it in the first week, they accept them. Otherwise, I don't wanna go to the bottom of the processing.
Yeah, no, she's been on top of me, and the fact that I responded to her saying that
Thank you, Miss Lacy, too.
you guys were signing it tonight, I would scan it tonight, or she'd have it first thing in the morning. She was grateful to hear that there was one more item that, would complete our requirement for setting the tax rate, but the last one is the MS1
Our town report's all set.
for the annual report.
Yeah, the one that's signed.
Yeah, you just signed the, 535, so I'll get that scanned to them.
Well, the thing is, on Channel 9, they were talking about, the businesses over on the seacoast, they said it was a great year, a lot of people spending money, so that just sounds like it could be a good year for revenues for the town.
We are in a good place for our current land use change tax,
Oh, good.
really, really good.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it up to the public. Fred, do you have anything?
Yes, Old Home Day, if you're gonna detour the road to Mansion Road, I would suggest you put the arrows down at the foot of Bonnet Hill and Tucker Hill, so people won't have a tendency to try to come up.
We're not gonna put arrows, we'll have arrows, a detour sign,
Yeah.
and a car there.
Yeah,
Car over here too.
yeah.
We have enough police cars to put on both ends.
Also, I'd like to commend Larry Como for the work he did on the fire station, really looks good.
Okay, bringing it back to the board, does the board have anything?
I just wanna, one thing, looking at the fire station, the two new doors look great, I think we should entertain the idea of replacing the three remaining older
Yeah.
doors.
I'll ask John to get us a quote.
Yep.
You have anything for us, Justin?
I think that's a good idea to change out the other 3 doors.
Yeah,
I'd like to,
Spruce that building back up.
I'd like to do, something else, just on what Fred said I had written down here. I'd like to thank Larry Como from the board personally, Lee. I'd like to, have Joe Marie get him a card. And I'd like to present the board with, getting him a $100 gift certificate to a local restaurant. I mean, he put a lot of work in there, several weeks worth of work, and, our plan was to pay him and he won't give us an invoice on it, so I think that,
I think common man would be pretty good,
yeah,
reasonable price.
you guys, and
I'm good with
you
that.
have Joe Marie, do that for us, Lean?
Give,
If you'd rather me ask her, I can do that for
well,
you.
that's fine, a gift card
Yeah, $100 gift certificate to a local restaurant,
and
So
a
just
thank
common
you
man.
card.
huh? Yes, and a thank you card so we can sign it.
Okay, got it,
Alright, and we'll do that at our next meeting and get it off to him and,
okay.
or
Don't
we
say,
can even sign it, when we come in next week or
What's
so.
the corner sitting there for? So Lou's gotta go back?
Yeah, they're going back, Larry thought he might like that option, but he used the original corners I got instead, so those are going
Yeah,
back.
I'm gonna send the guys down to pick up the fence tomorrow, get that out of there.
I'd also like to get a thank you card for John. John helped him daily on that, and, he didn't plan on doing it either. So I'd like to get a thank you card for John Wigan as well. And I'll bring it to the board, do you guys wanna get him a gift certificate too, or just leave that out?
I don't mind, I mean, he didn't have to do
He
this.
didn't,
That's the bottom line, he did it as a volunteer, above and
I
beyond.
mean, he volunteered his time, it wasn't fire department time, he
Exactly.
volunteered his time as well.
I'd say, let's keep him,
Do
keep me,
both.
yeah, okay, both.
I mean, the town, they paid for material and got the job completely done and done right, and professional, and I think that,
And overall, they save the town a boatload of money. And
yeah, a huge amount of money.
And
This
so
is-
that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And
You guys should be aware that Jeff Trexler drove through while they were just finishing up, and he kind of looked it over and asked how everything was going, and Larry thanked him for a great set of plans that were easy to follow,
That was the next one on my thing.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys, I mean, Jeff has done this
No,
stuff too.
the thing is, if you look at what we could've paid through the thousands.
That we could have paid, you know, typically a job like that, as much as the material is what the labor generally runs, cause they match pretty close. And, all we paid for was the demo.
Right.
You know, so, why don't you put Jeff Trexler on there as well?
Okay.
I think that's $300 well spent for, volunteering of all that time.
And for the savings to the town, I have no issue with that. I think it's, it kinda gives a reinforcement for people volunteering too.
Well, and you know, so many people, when you put that time together and, you know, we stay at this meeting and hopefully some people will watch this meeting. But really, the recognition never really gets out there for what you truly do, and I think that, you know, at least if they know we appreciate it, I think it'll go somewhere.
See, if you recall, for Mr. Trexler, that we didn't really have a procedure, so the selectmen actually bought him a car through their own pockets one year.
Yeah,
Cause he really stepped up
and again, he's another person who won't take anything from the town, so.
Right. But a gift card, I think we will take. Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, so if you get those put together, we can sign them, this week when we come in to sign, and we can get,
Next
show them ready to send them right out.
Okay,
I mean, just during the
Oh,
week.
yeah, absolutely.
That's it, so we'll adjourn at 7:42. Motion been made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hallelujah.
Now it's 7:29 though.
Cut it.